Hi, my name is Prem Dhanya. Welcome to my LifePage. And today I'm going to be speaking about entrepreneurship. But before that, let me introduce myself. I was born and raised in New York, and I went to school at FIT, which is the Fashion Institute of Technology. And I started my own business at a very young age, around 21. After I studied college, I began selling different designers of the accessory industry in the women's market, representing different designers in the market and selling to the actual retail customer. I had about 8 to 10 years of sales experience doing that, and it gave me one of my tools that I still use today, which is to get to know who my customer is, find out what their needs are, and deliver them more of that same product. So entrepreneurship for me means that we have some idea that we feel a lot of passion and ambition about, something that we want to put forward in the world, that we really believe in. And once we start to do so, we stay focused on that, we take our positive energy and continue to move forward with that, putting that vision out in the world, creating that possibility to happen. It starts with a dream, but then ends up in a reality. So we can strengthen the idea that we have once we get to know what it is that we're going to be selling and to whom we're going to be selling it to. Because that's very important to know exactly where this product is going to land in the market, whether it be a product or a service or a commodity, whatever it may be, but to know where it's going so that we understand the needs. And from there, we can strengthen the product itself. Now, let me tell you what education I think is necessary to be a good entrepreneur. The first is marketing. Marketing, because today, in this day and age, we have this whole internet revolution, and we need to appeal to that. So we need to have strengthened skills in social media, being able to put product out there on all of these multi-levels, Facebook, Instagram, knowing who our client base is, strengthening the search engine organization of our brand, and really getting that brand out there. It's needed management for this because there's a lot of information that has to get out there. If it's product, it's photos, it's completely tracking that and updating it all the time, seeing what likes you get, and knowing what sold better or got more hits. Was it the white dress or was it the green dress? Another division of education that would also be helpful is finance. You're dealing with a lot of money. You need to know how to budget money. You have perhaps employees, you have your bills, you have your accounts receivables, your accounts payables. It's knowing how to budget money that's very important, and how to stretch that dollar also, which is very important, how to make it work for you. Another department of education that could be very helpful is psychology, because in business, we're always dealing with people. You have to know how to relate with your customers. You have to know how to relate with your employees, your colleagues, how you're managing within yourself, and also to see yourself, to really understand who it is in you that's actually there, saying what you're saying, doing as you're doing. What is it inside of you that's compelling you to act in such a way? So it's very good to have psychology under the belt, and that would be a very good plus. Another department of education that would be good would be trade and copyright laws. Especially if you're an import-exporter like I am, you need to know about the trade laws for your particular country. What are the laws for the country that you're producing in? And also, in this day and age when everyone loves to sue the other person, it's really good to know about copyright laws, copyright infringement, and what are your rights. And finally, domain expertise would be another department of education that I would consider important. Of course, depending on your own business that you're interested in. For example, in mine, in fashion, what's very important is having some idea of pattern making and production flow and how it all works. Now let me tell you about the skills that I consider that are essential for being a good entrepreneur. The first is identifying your client. This is very important. I consider this the first step. You get to know who it is that you're selling to and find out what it is that they need, and you attune your product to deliver to them more of that. The next skill that I consider very important is problem solving. In any business, problems arise, and that is the most important thing to know how to deal with whatever arises. This is one of the parts that can either float or sink the ship. Because if you are able to think on your feet without letting the stress get to you, and it's something that you enjoy to do, finding the solution takes equanimity and a smooth and competent. It's very important to have equanimity so that you can find the solution. The next skill that is very important is communication. Most of the time I find that when there is a problem, there was a lack of communication. So communication is of utmost importance, and you need to be able to develop that within your team that you're working with, your employees, your colleagues, whoever it may be, but keeping the lines of communication open. Another skill that I consider very important for entrepreneurship is the ability to sell. From the initial phases of your business, you need to be able to get your product out there to your public, and you need to be able to promote that product. You are going to be the primary person putting that product out there. So sales skills are very important. It means to have self-confidence. It means to be able to really truly believe in your product and be able to be very comfortable with it and selling it from a very genuine place within you to the appropriate person it needs to land on. I also consider leadership skills very important because it is you, after all, that's leading this idea or product. You need to be able to inspire people and to get them motivated, and this requires leadership skills. Another skill that's very important is ambition. I don't know if you can consider ambition a skill, but it requires ambition. Ambition is necessary to continue the drive to land whatever it is that you're trying to sell or develop. A continued passion is really required. Now let me tell you about the positive attributes of entrepreneurship. First is monetary autonomy. It's great to be able to run your own financial future, and you are at the helm of, depending on how much money you want to make, it's up to you. You don't have a set salary, and the sky is the limit. So another plus of being an entrepreneur is being your own boss and being able to be free, be able to take your own time off, travel where you need to, and just be free. Another plus of entrepreneurship is that you actually create jobs, and that's a great feeling to be able to provide for people and see that they're also flourishing in their families. It's quite a good feeling to be able to say that you've done such a thing. And finally, limitless creativity. You can keep adding on to the package of what you first began with. There is no container. There's no ceiling on it. You just can keep creating and doing more of what you love, which is very satisfying. Now let me tell you about some of the challenges of entrepreneurship. The first is high responsibility. You're responsible for your employees. You have to pay their health bills. There's a kind of insurance, and that doesn't go away. That's always there. You're also responsible to your clients. You have to deliver the product that you promised you would, and it's up to you, so it's under your responsibility. Another challenge of entrepreneurship is managing people. So there's a lot of understanding how to deal with the human condition and wants and desires, and also people really want their jobs, so it's up to you to keep giving them their job. And finally, another challenge of entrepreneurship is financial risk. There is a risk that occurs in running your own business, and you are responsible for the bills that you incur, whether you deliver your product or not, but you will be responsible to pay the bills. Now let me tell you about a day in my life as an entrepreneur. I wake up in the morning, and I try to do my sadhana first, which will steady me for my entire day, which is my spiritual practice. Then I start to read my emails because I work in many different time zones, so there's all different time zones happening at the same time. So I check my emails and reply to them, and then I have my breakfast and do my workout. And I have this advantage because I'm an entrepreneur and I can do that. And the way that business is today, even though I have my factory in Bali that I work in, and have my distribution happening in America, I can still work from home because of web cameras, and I can see what's happening in the factory, and I can do my Zoom calls with my employees if we need to have a meeting. So a lot of my work at this point is able to be done via laptop. which is another wonderful thing about being an entrepreneur because you can be operating your business from wherever you are. So I take care of what's necessary in the morning, and then I'm free basically for the afternoon. I also sometimes have to do a lot of the financial part, which is sending money and taking care of design. The design part can be done wherever I am, actually, because I'm receiving inspiration from the market wherever it is that I am. And I also get to run my own hours. So my days are always varied. There's not any one particular routine. And it's very changing, and it depends on which country I'm in, because I live between Maui and Bali, and my routine varies depending on which country I'm in. I hope I was able to give you a balanced view on entrepreneurship, and I hope I was able to help you. Thank you.